What I found during implementation of blended learning or a self-paced model of learning was that students, surprise, surprise, need a little bit of extrinsic motivation. And so I implemented some concepts behind gamification or game theory into my class. And this, what you're looking at here, is just the first iteration of me assigning non-academic point values to students' work and then totaling them up over here. So the way this worked from a student's perspective is they saw this. They could track their points. And at the end of the month, whoever had the most points as a class, they got some kind of prize, and I told them I would buy them, whatever within reason, but it couldn't impact their learning. Every single class elected to do like some sort of potluck style, and it was amazing because I didn't do anything. They brought in their own stuff. They had this kind of buffet, and they grabbed their stuff and they continued to work. We took maybe 10 minutes out of class in the last day of the month, or the beginning of the following month, and they just rewarded themselves. It was fantastic, like super, super cool. And I did see a serious uptick in motivation when I used this type of system. So the way this worked, it's very simple, is I was running a mastery-based, self-paced program in my class. And when a student finished an assignment, I would just change this number right here. And so let's say there's one student who hasn't finished this assignment here. I change that from 27 to 28, and then watch over here, that automatically updates. That's because this number is the number of students who have completed the assignment. This number right here is the number of students who've completed the assignment, and then multiplied by the point value. This averages it out to level the playing field, so to accommodate for different sizes of class. And then those things are just added up over here. So you can see that one over here. What I started to do over the course of the next several months was I added in attendance. So I'm a big believer that attendance should not impact a student's academics, just because that's inequitable, but attendance is also very important. And so in order to teach what we sometimes call those soft skills, I incorporated those into their extrinsic motivator, but kept that separate from their grade book. And so I could also kind of toss any other sort of things in there that weren't really going to go in my grade book for equity reasons, but they could absolutely go into your participation with the class. This kind of became this little catch-all for my participation, what would have normally been a grade, right? And what was kind of cool is I could very easily compare how my classes were doing overall. This is by no means on an individual level. This really made this community or whole group effort, which was pretty cool. And we just put it up there. They had access to this in Google Classroom. They could track it and they could follow it. It was really awesome. There's a lot of things that I would change here. Again, this is very rudimentary. What I ended up doing over the course of the rest of the year is I hid these rows. That way kids only saw this. They didn't need to see any of these things. I changed up the formatting a little bit just to make that a little bit simpler. But if you wanted to take this and play with it yourself, I wanted to give you the most basic version. That way you could see all these basic functions that are in here. That way you can just duplicate whatever you need.